In a world that rushes and hurries and clutters and competes, simplicity whispers. It doesn't shout. It doesn't dazzle, but it frees. We are taught to gather more things, more plans, more screens, more noise. But what if less is not emptiness? What if less is space? I had the best intentions, so many dreams to nurture, so many plans to execute, but I spread myself too thin. There were weeks when I felt like a human pin, bouncing from one obligation to another, never quite finishing anything, never really starting anything either. Letting go of that which I thought would make me happy is one of the toughest battles we face. But I started small. I cut back on non-essential activities, the ones that drained me without bringing me closer to my aspirations. Instead of being pulled in multiple directions, I moved forward with intention. My journey is not an endorsement of monastic living or hermetic practices. Rather, it's an encouragement to examine, to evaluate, and to elevate. I was stuck in this cycle of half-hearted efforts, a victim of my own ambitions. It's the space that allows us to pursue our passions, to connect with others, to contribute to the world in a meaningful way. This process unveiled a truth I had long ignored. Less wasn't emptiness. It was space. Space to breathe, to think, to be. It's about saying yes to the things that truly matter and no to everything else. It's not an easy path, but the rewards are immeasurable. It's not always comfortable to choose stillness when the world is clamoring for our attention. But it's in these moments that we must hold firm to our convictions. But relentless busyness can be a subtle thief, stealing our joy, our health, our very essence. It means cherishing what truly matters. It's about surrounding yourself with things that bring you joy, people who inspire you, and experiences that enrich your soul. It's about making conscious choices that align with your values and aspirations. There will be times when the allure of complexity beckons, when the pressure to conform to societal norms feels overwhelming. But I urge you to hold fast to your chosen simplicity. Thank you for listening. If you found value in today's message, I invite you to share it with someone who might also find solace in these words. Together, let us continue to navigate the complexities of life with grace and resilience, always seeking the simplicity that sets our souls free. Trust that it is in that simplicity, in that clarity, that you will find your true strength and happiness. We must reclaim ourselves from this by choice, by conscious, deliberate choice. It's enjoying a cup of tea in silence, allowing the warmth to soothe my thoughts. It's finding solace in the worn pages of my favorite book, each crease telling a story of its own. It's taking walks without a destination, letting my feet map out the path and my thoughts wander freely. It's engaging in conversations without the distraction of screens, truly seeing and being seen. Space to dream without distraction and execute without reservation. They fuel my creativity. They inspire my work. They nourish my soul. It's a rejection of the status quo, a challenge to the prevailing notion that more is always better. It requires courage to simplify. Let it guide you into cluttering your life, both physically and metaphorically. Let it lead you to the activities that bring you the most joy and fulfillment. Courage to break free from the patterns that hold us back. Courage to redefine success on our own terms. Courage to live a life that is true to who we are, not in some far-off fantasy, but here, right where I am. The Spanish philosopher José Ortega Y Gasset once said, "We are all a bit too complex. Life is simpler than we are." How profound is that? We often complicate matters, don't we? We overthink situations, overextend ourselves, and overcommit to things that ultimately don't serve us. Life, in its essence, is simpler than we make it. It's in the simplicity, in the clarity, where we find our true freedom, our authentic selves. I haven't shed all my complexities. I still fumble. I still fall. We become better problem solvers, more effective communicators, more engaged members of our communities. We have the time and the energy to nurture our relationships, to engage in activities that bring us joy, and to make a positive impact on the world around us. But somewhere along the way, I learned to listen to simplicity's quiet song. Room to breathe. to think, to be. A simple life is not a small life. It is a clear one, clear of distractions that blur our joy, clear of comparison that clouds our worth. I believe in this truth because I have seen it in action, and it started with just one thing. You see, I was a collector of commitments. Then something shifted within me. I won't pretend it was a sudden epiphany. It was more like a slow sunrise, a gradual dawning. I realized that all this busyness wasn't serving me. It wasn't leading me towards the life I truly desired. I craved something more authentic, more meaningful. So I began to evaluate, to analyze the commitments I had so carelessly accumulated. It wasn't easy. It wasn't about deprivation. It was about reallocation. I redirected my energy towards what truly mattered, my priorities, my passions. This clarity led to focus, which led to progress. It wasn't swift or dramatic, but it was steady and genuine. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not advocating for a life devoid of engagement, a life of retreat and isolation. The world often glorifies busyness as a badge of honor, a testament to our dedication and importance. Embracing simplicity doesn't mean downsizing your dreams. It means clarifying them. It's about aligning our commitments with our core values and aspirations. You see, simplicity is freedom. Freedom from the shackles of endless to-do lists. Freedom from the burden of unmet expectations. Freedom to be our authentic selves. When we simplify our lives, we create room for creativity to flourish. But here's the paradox. In a world that screams complexity at every turn, embracing simplicity is an act of rebellion. I know that sometimes the path to simplicity feels lonely. It's not always easy to say no when everyone else is saying yes. Here's the secret. Simplifying your life doesn't mean denying yourself. For me, this means waking up early to greet the day with a clear mind. These moments ground me, reminding me of what truly matters. So if you feel the pull towards simplicity, if you sense its whisper in your heart, I encourage you to embrace it. It won't be a smooth journey. I want to leave you with a quote that has resonated with me deeply on my journey towards simplicity. So let us strive to live life on our own terms, embracing simplicity, celebrating authenticity, and honoring our unique journeys. Hey friends, welcome back. If this is our first time meeting, I'm so glad you're here. I'm a storyteller, and today I'm sharing a brand new story. The way we understand ourselves, others, and our place in the universe has been shaped by story. My goal is to tell stories to help you find your way in this confusing world. And if you're new here, make sure you hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. And as you probably know, stories have changed the world, but you are enough of an artist to paint your own life in colors, big and small, beautiful and true. What does it mean to paint your own life? No longer performing for an audience, no longer trying to fit into someone else's version of success. We can be authentic, vulnerable, real. We can follow our passions and pursue the things we're interested in without worrying about what other people think. The irony of simplicity is that when we embrace it, we discover that we have so much more to give. Do not let busyness or complexity or the pursuit of more keep you from living a life that is rich, meaningful, and true. Thank you for joining me on this episode of our series on embracing simplicity. Next week, we will talk about how to practice mindfulness in everyday life. And if you're ready to dive deeper into the journey of finding simplicity in your life, I invite you to grab a copy of my book, How to Keep House While Drowning. It's filled with practical tips and inspiration for simplifying your life so you can find more joy, peace, and productivity in everyday living. Head over to my website to grab a copy and to find out more. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please leave us a review so we can continue to make more of this content. And I'll see you next time. We have more time, more energy, more passion, more creativity, more love. Simplicity allows us to tap into our fullest potential. It helps us discover our strengths and use them to make a difference in the world. We can be more productive, more focused, more creative. We can accomplish more by doing less. And while that might sound counterintuitive, it's the truth. When we embrace simplicity, we discover that we're capable of extraordinary things. We can be curious, We can explore. We can take risks. We can fail. We can learn and grow from our mistakes. Because we're not afraid of looking foolish or wasting time. When we simplify, we become more of who we really are. More of what we were meant to be. We each have a unique vision for what we want our lives to look like, who we want to be, and how we want to spend our time. Love, connection, kindness, compassion, gratitude, presence. These are the things that make life worth living. And yet they cost us nothing. They require no special skills or talents or resources. They're freely available to all of us. We just have to open ourselves up to receive them. Embrace simplicity. Not because life is less that way, but because somehow it becomes more peaceful, more joyful, more loving, more present, more you. But too often we let other people color our picture. We choose a career path because it seems respectable to our parents or because our friends are doing it too. Even though our hearts are calling us towards something else, we say yes to social events and activities that do not bring us joy out of a fear of missing out, or because we fill our homes with stuff we do not actually need, because it makes us feel secure or successful or happy. But these are all ways of letting other people, other expectations, other voices dictate how we live. The only person whose opinion on this matters is yours. Let that be your North Star. Use it to guide you. You are not responsible for anyone else's happiness. Not your mother, not your boss, not your partner. You are responsible for your own. And that starts with creating space, with slowing down, with letting go of everything that doesn't serve your highest vision for your life. The richness is in the details, the small moments, the everyday miracles. It's in the walk with your dog in the morning, in the laughter around a kitchen table, in the hug of someone you love. Richness is where life is happening. It's where you are. Today's story is part 2 in our series on embracing simplicity. He says that we can achieve greatness in certain areas of our life if we remove ourselves from all the unimportant stuff and focus on what truly matters. What would happen if we spent less time trying to impress other people and more time impressing ourselves? If we stopped caring about what everyone was doing and instead invested our energy in the things that align with our values and bring us joy? We can't do both. We can't do everything. And if we try, we'll end up doing nothing. Well, the question is, what do we want to prioritize? How do we want to spend our one precious life? In part 1, we talked about how decluttering our physical space can also help us declutter our minds. You can find part 1 in the playlist below. And if you haven't joined the Simplicity Project yet, click the link below to sign up and receive weekly emails, helping you live a life of intention and meaning. Let's get into it. We often confuse complexity with importance. We think if something is tangled, urgent, difficult, it must be valuable. But some of the richest things in life arrive quietly. The laughter of someone you love, the rustling of leaves in a gentle breeze, the comfort of a well-worn sweater, the stillness of an early morning before the world wakes. These are not luxuries. They are life itself. Yet we trade them for busy calendars, for shiny devices, for the constant hum of what's next. But here's the truth. Peace doesn't come from having it all. It comes from needing less. The simple life is not about poverty. It's about sufficiency. Having just enough, being just enough, finding joy in the now instead of chasing the next. It's when you stop multitasking your soul, when you allow your attention to land fully in this breath, this view, this moment. Simplicity is a rebellion against the noise, a quiet revolution of the heart. It's saying no to the meetings that drain you, to the things you buy but do not need, to the pressure to be constantly productive. And it's saying yes to margin, to rest, to purpose. We live in a culture that worships busyness. Our worth is measured in how much we accomplish, how many tabs we have open, how full our schedule is. But there's a different way to measure a life, by the depth of our experiences, by the quality of our relationships, by how present we are to the people and the work we love. A life rich in what really matters. That looks like contentment. Not because we have everything, but because we need nothing more. Because we've done the hard work of assessing what matters and then letting go of everything else. When we embrace simplicity, we discover that true richness is not found in more. It's found in enough. There's a beautiful quote by poet Mary Oliver that reads, "I don't know what you can do." In his book, Essentialism, Cal Newport argues that we should try to do less, but better. When we embrace simplicity, we discover that we're free to be ourselves. When we embrace simplicity, we realize that the most important things in life are also the simplest. Our deepest fear is not that we are not good enough. Our deepest fear is that we are. Embrace simplicity.